Apple has been secretly working on one of the biggest Mac upgrades ever, but they have only just announced it. And this is going to change everything. It was in April when we first heard about a new update for macOS called XPU at the time. We thought that this could be an Apple Silicon version of Windows, kind of like what we saw from Asahi, which I covered in a previous video. But turns out we were way off base. And at WWDC this week, Apple finally announced what the XPU is, and it's absolutely game-changing for the future of Apple products. As you can see from the official press release, the XPU is an extremely powerful new media engine that will be built into the next generation of MacBooks, specifically the 2025 models running Apple's upcoming M3 Pro and M3 Max chips. Now, Apple doesn't talk much about what exactly the XPU is or how it works, but based on the information that they have shared, we can make some pretty big assumptions. First of all, XPU appears to be a custom processor that is made specifically for media processing tasks, such as encoding and decoding video. This makes sense given the name XPU, which stands for Extensible Processing Unit. What makes the XPU so special is that it is designed to work alongside Apple's existing M-series chips, which are already very powerful and efficient. So with the XPU, Apple is essentially creating a system on a chip that can handle both general computing tasks, as well as media processing tasks extremely well. In fact, Apple claims that the XPU can decode up to 8 streams of 4K video at the same time, which is a huge jump from the current capabilities of the M2 Pro and M2 Max chips. That means that if you are editing a video in Final Cut Pro with 8 different 4K video tracks, the XPU would be able to decode all of them at the same time without any issues, making the editing process much smoother and more responsive. Not only that, but the XPU also supports hardware-accelerated ray tracing for Metal, which is a graphics framework developed by Apple. This means that applications that use Metal, such as games and virtual reality apps, will benefit from faster rendering and more realistic lighting and shadows. What's really exciting about the XPU is that it opens up new possibilities for Apple products that have traditionally lacked dedicated media processing hardware, such as the iPhone and the iPad. For example, we could see improved video editing and playback capabilities on these devices, as well as better support for augmented reality applications. Of course, the XPU won't be available until the M3 Pro and M3 Max chips launch in late 2025, but the fact that Apple is investing in this technology shows us that they are serious about making their products even more powerful and versatile. But there is one big problem. You see, Apple has been known to kill features that don't make sense anymore or aren't ready in time. The touch bar is a good example of this. Unfortunately, it looks like the XPU might be another casualty. According to Mark Gurman from Bloomberg, who has a great track record, the XPU was originally supposed to come out in 2023 with the M2 Pro and M2 Max chips. However, Apple ran into some issues while developing the chip, and they weren't able to get it working properly in time. So instead of releasing a half-baked product, Apple decided to push the launch back to 2025. But that doesn't mean that the XPU is dead. In fact, Gurman reports that Apple is still working on the XPU, and they plan to include it in the M3 Pro and M3 Max chips. However, he also acknowledges that things can change, and that the XPU might not actually make it to the 2025 MacBooks. So basically, the XPU is still in development, and we don't know yet if it will make it to the 2025 MacBooks. If it does get released, it would be a major upgrade for Apple products and would make them even more powerful and versatile than before. But if Apple decides to kill the feature, then we'll have to wait until 2027 to get it. Either way, the XPU is an exciting development that could shape the future of Apple products, and I can't wait to see what happens next. This is your host. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video.